All right, if you stayed up late to watch the Knicks game on Thursday night out in Sacramento, then you know that things didn't end well for the Knickerbockers, who started their four-game West Coast road trip with a loss. That would be to the Kings. The New York Post sports reporter, Peter Botte, he's road tripping with the team, and he joins me now from Los Angeles. Peter, how's that Los Angeles weather in March?
Well, you saw that snow at the Hollywood sign last week, right? Well, it's not much better. It's cold and rainy, but we're dealing with it. Hopefully, at some point in the weekend, we'll see the sun.
Yeah, that's disappointing. That's not what you want when you get out to LA at this time of the year. But we're going to talk some Knicks basketball. And Peter, Thursday's game against the Kings, it was quite the roller coaster ride. But the biggest news out of that game is probably that Jalen Brunson did not return to the game after halftime after re-aggravating his sore left foot. Will we see Brunson return to the team during this road trip, or do the Knicks play it safe and rest him?
The Knicks haven't said yet what the status is for Jalen Brunson, and he's fooled us before and ended up playing in games in which he was questionable, and I thought that he wouldn't play. But for me, I'm expecting for him to come out of the game last night at halftime after missing the previous two games. That tells a lot. And to me, I'd be really surprised. Certainly, I can't imagine he's playing either of the two games in LA on Saturday and Sunday, and then we can see maybe Tuesday in Portland. But I get the feeling that he might miss some games here. This reminded me of Quentin Grimes when he was injured in the preseason, and then he tried to come back a couple of times, and he had setbacks, and it was a similar injury. He had a sore foot. The Knicks have not given any further details on Brunson's injury, but it reminds me of that. And it took it took Grimes a little while to fully get himself all the way back into the lineup, and I think there's a chance that Brunson misses some games here.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Knicks have back-to-back games against the two LA teams coming up in Los Angeles. And without Brunson for the second half against Sacramento, Peter, the Knicks, they almost came back and won a game which they trailed by 21 points in the third quarter. So should fans be encouraged about the fight that the team showed, or concerned that they now have lost two in a row following a 9-game winning streak?
I think the answer to that, Dexter, is a little bit of both, right? I mean, they definitely showed some fight. You saw Josh Hart crashing the boards and getting 8 offensive rebounds. And they were in a one-possession game in the final minute after the comeback, and that was with them shooting 13 for 50 from 3-point range for the game. So you have to be somewhat encouraged. They started getting stops on the defensive end in the third, like late in the third quarter and into the fourth. So I mean, you have to look at that as a positive. This Kings team, they're a fun team to watch. They're dynamic and fast, and they were getting to the rim an awful lot in the first half and building that 21-point lead into the third quarter. I think they're as exciting a young team as I've seen this season. But the Knicks can take something away, but now they got to do something here on this road trip.
Yeah, and they got to do that possibly, without Brunson. And we're going to go back to Brunson here, right? The Knicks are 3-3 without arguably Brunson, who's their most important player this year. Can the team still have a positive road trip if he doesn't play, and who really needs to step up in his absence?
I don't think it's even arguable that he's their most indispensable and most important player. I really feel like he's a big key on unlocking Randall getting back to an all-star level this year. That being said, they won a game without him, a big game without him in Boston on Sunday in double overtime. Quickly had a monster game, and he played 55 minutes that night, and he hasn't been the same since. I don't know. He claims it hasn't. That's not the reason, but I mean, he was 1 for 11 last night and 1 for 8 from 3-point range. So he clearly is the most obvious answer to that. I mean, I think they all have to step up, especially if Brunson's out for a while. But Quickly, obviously, is gonna be in the starting lineup if Brunson's not there, and he's gonna get the bulk of the minutes because Miles McBride doesn't still seem to have the full trust of Tom Thibodeau to play big minutes. I mean, for Quickly to play 55 minutes in that double overtime game against the Celtics shows you where the Knicks are without Brunson. So he's number one, but there are other guys too. I mean, Quentin Grimes had a nice game last night. He needs to continue that. And Randall and Barrett, as always, I mean, they can't shoot 3 for 20 like they did last night from long distance. They have to really shoulder the bulk of the scoring with Brunson out.
Yeah, we'll see if those players are able to step up. The next 3 games on the road trip for the Knicks are the Clippers, Lakers, and then the Trailblazers. We'll see how they finish and if they will have Jalen Brunson in the lineup. That is Peter Botte. He will be with the Knicks for the rest of this road trip. Great job as always, Peter. I will talk to you soon, and I hope the weather in your travels gets a little bit better.
Me too, Dexter. Thanks so much for having me.
No problem, man.